Alright guys, time for another Spirit Island video. This one is about Fear Card Tier List. Okay. So, I don't think I'm not going to read all of these specifically. I will just read the title so you know what I'm talking about. Quarantine. Looks like this one is mostly about coastal lands and blight. This one can actually be really, really helpful. So I would say this goes in B tier. It's not always helpful. Or sorry, disease, not blight. Yep. Theological strife. Didn't think that was the word. Alright, so this one you would add strife, and then yeah, this one's actually huge. I would definitely say this is at least A tier. The problem is the beginning levels aren't great, but later on it can be really helpful. Mimic the Dahan. Looks like you get to replace things with Dahan, which is actually awesome. Yeah, this one might be S. That's just really, really good. It can give you so much pace to go quickly, make that progress. Okay, supply chains abandoned. Essentially, this one's all about isolating lands. Don't love it. I would just say B. It's not actively bad, but too many monsters. It's a good problem to have. So it all has to do with beasts and removing things. Things that remove are okay, but they're not great. This one is big on replacing things with Dahan. That's kind of the big thing about it. But removing a bunch of stuff, it's awesome when fear cards get you more fear cards. This one I would just say is middle of the road B as well. Immigration slows. Essentially, you just skip a bunch of builds. Yeah. Again, this one goes in B. A lot of these are just going to be average. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, Fear of the Unseen. Removing things from lands. This one's B as well. It's not what we want, but it's acceptable, I guess. Sense of Dread. Removing things from lands matching a Ravage card. I would actually say that this one is probably... Again, this one's going to be B as well. I'm tempted to put it in C, but... because often you will have dealt with the lands that are ravaging, or you will be able to kill the things by defending with the Dahan. But that's what we got. Flee the Pestilent Land. You get to remove things from lands with disease. I'm actually going to say this one is C. It can be somewhat helpful, but a lot of times you don't have disease. Yeah, it's not horrible. I might move this one down to F. We'll have to see. But Belief Takes Root. You defend in lands with presence, essentially. I think this one's C. Not very good. A lot of these defend ones are actually not great. Because if you are... In my opinion, if you're good at the game, you often would be prepared for these things before the fear card comes. And then when it's super specific like this, it makes it very hard to do anything. Whereas these ones right here, a lot of these are more helpful because you can just do them in random places. Daunted by the Dahan. 1 fear per player. This one, essentially, you get some fear, and then you get to defend, or blah, blah, blah. Other stuff happens. Often, I feel like this card is a lot of overkill. It's kind of redundant. You end up defending, and then they do a lot less damage to Dahan. I think this one's going to go in B. It gets you fear, but doesn't do too much for you. Okay. Distracted by local troubles. Essentially, you're doing a bunch of damage in Ravage lands, essentially. I don't love it, actually. I would say this one belongs in C. Okay. Wary of the interior. Yeah, okay. So essentially you would do stuff with inland lands. Yeah, I actually do think this one is pretty solid because when they often if they explore into an inland land, removing an explorer will stop them from building because they aren't that built up. So I think that one belongs in A. Beset by many troubles, essentially defend a ton wherever there are tokens and sometimes adjacent to tokens. This one is actually pretty decent AoE. I think we'll just say B. I'm gonna end up having to create some more room here. We'll have to see how I do that. Alright. Discord. Essentially add strife to lands and then theoretically deal some damage. I think this one goes in A tier. Yeah. And if you're following, some of the times when you remove things, it's not as good because you don't get to do any damage and kill those things. When you add strife to things, sometimes it makes it so they don't ravage, depending on the event. / the Dahan will be able to hit them back and kill them, which will get you more fear. You essentially want to always be building your engine, not slowing it down by just removing. That's my thought at least. Unrest. Add strife to stuff. And then theoretically they have less hit points. This one is very specific. I think this one actually belongs in B. Let's see, are we running out of room? I think we're okay for now. Okay. Emigration accelerates. Essentially, this is about things leaving. You can remove things from the coast or theoretically any land. I'd actually say this one is probably C tier because at the highest level, all you do is remove a town. It's kind of pathetic. Okay. Spreading timidity. Choose a land to isolate. Theoretically defend. Let's go with C as well. Don't love it. Isolate effects can be really good. They also can not matter much. It's kind of hit or miss. And if I have a fear card, I want it to do something for me, not just hopefully do something for me. Dahan Threaten. Add strife in damage. Yeah. Okay, yep. This one I think belongs in A as well. You're adding strife to lands with Dahan, and then theoretically those Dahan are doing damage. Isolation. Yeah, this one... essentially you can really maximize this. So actually this one would be A tier because you can remove big things from lands where they matter. So that can stop them from building, that can stop them from ravaging, or at least it can stop them from adding blight, or you can even use this to remove cities in the late game. Help you win. Avoid the Dahan. Essentially, they don't do certain things in lands with Dahan. I'd say this one's just middle of the road. It can be really helpful, but it's not going to get you every time. Dahan, reclaim fishing grounds. Essentially, you get to maybe move some Dahan and then do some damage. Yeah, this bottom one is so good. And even this first one can be really good if you happen to have a bunch of things in the coast. So actually, I'd say this one is A. Demoralized. Oof, defend 1, 2, or 3 in lands. This, for whatever reason, this card just sucks. This goes in F. Yeah, it's just not good enough to do what you're trying to do. The blanket defend 3 is good, but this only helps you if you're already going to be super screwed. Which, again, you're hoping not to be super screwed all the time. And this isn't even strong enough against some of the adversaries. Defend 3 won't do it. Depopulation. Essentially, you get to replace things. Oh, hate this card. I actually say this one is F as well. Because even at the highest level, all you're doing is either removing a town or replacing a city with a town. That's pretty bad. Dahan Raid. Dahan do damage. Yeah, this one. Man, I might end up moving some of these A's to S, but we'll leave it like this for now. Okay, Dahan attack. Yeah, essentially Dahan do a bunch of damage and or remove things. Yeah, Dahan are just solid. Every time you do 2 damage with them, this can get you more fear card. This one will go in A. Dahan gain the edge. Good for them. Yeah, they just get to defend and do a little bit of stuff. I would actually say this one is probably C. Because even at the best level, all you're doing is 2 damage and defending 4 in a land with Dahan. So that's probably pretty worthless. Nerves, Fray, add Blight. And then you sometimes get a little bit of fear. But you have to be planning ahead for this one. Or sorry, not Blight, add Strife, sorry. This one is going to go to B. We're going to start overlapping them like this. Okay. Dahan on the guard. Essentially, you get to defend. Oh, yeah, actually, it's an each land defend X per Dahan. We're actually going to put this one in C. I don't think it's super helpful. Again, we want proactive things, not reactive things. Panicked by Wild Beasts. Essentially, you get to add Strife, somewhat close to Beasts. Yeah, this one's this one is decently good. I want to put it like A minus, but I think we'll just go ahead and go with B because it's not quite good enough. Yeah. Plan for departure. Gather stuff into coastal lands. Defend a bunch in coastal lands. So this one, I feel like this is a card that if you really know what you're doing, this card is really solid. You can stop them from ravaging in an inland land by gathering into a coastal land. You can stop them from building in a inland land by gathering into a coastal land, or you can just gather things into different places so that more places will, or more pieces will die during ravage due to the defend. So I actually feel like this one gives you a lot. It also helps you pocket. But again, my rule is that it needs to actively be doing stuff for you. I actually feel like this one goes in B because it's good but not awesome. Seek safety. Helps you just move things, and then at best it only removes. I'm actually gonna say this one is C. And then Angry Mobs. Yeah, this one is like the craziest thing in the world against France, I believe. This is the one where you can either replace things with explorers, or based on the number of explorers, you can destroy invaders. This card can hardcore miss, but it's good. It's good enough, especially if you're already won the game. This card's not going to help you, but you don't need your cards to help you too much if you're already going to win the game. If you're behind it all, this card will be immensely helpful for you. So this is one of the ones you can flip that can just turn the game completely around. Yeah, just ridiculous. Yeah, you could literally kill a city in every single land if you have 2 in every single land. Yeah. Retreat. Yeah, this one, oh man, even it might sound crazy. Yeah, it's the same logic as Wary of the Interior. moving things from the inland really helps you pocket, really helps them not do stuff as well. So I would say that one is A. It's really good way to get rid of stuff that really matters. Okay, Tall Tales of Savagery. Remove things in lands with Dahan. Wow. Okay, the highest level of this is so good. Essentially, it should be clear at this point that Dahan are just world changing. They are so good in this game. Don't let your Dahan die. That's not who you are. It's that spirit. Communities in disarray. Yeah, this one I'm actually going to say is F tier. They just do less damage and then they don't heal. But in general, you're pretty bad at the game if you're doing damage to things and not killing them. No offense to anybody, but the goal is to kill everything that you can kill each turn. So the only time you're going to do a little bit of damage to something and not kill it is from these cards or from events or from Dahan counterattack. So I don't think that one's very good. Seek Company. Essentially you get to gather things. Yeah, and honestly, this is actually pretty solid because these bottom two levels you can obviously gathers from different lands. So this would go to A because you can essentially consolidate a ton of problems into one spot. And against a lot of spirits, or against a lot of adversaries, that's a really good move. And some spirits can just wipe out certain lands. So that one's really solid. Or you can set up places where you've already defended to be able to counterattack, essentially. Restlessness. You get to push things from lands. And you can remove a bunch of stuff from a land not matching a build card. This one can be good, but it's actually going to fall into C because it's not matching a build card. So, like, what's the point in general? This is not super helpful except for pocketing, which is really planning ahead for the future. Scapegoats. Also, I just want to say, I use some terms in this. I've played a lot of Spirit Island, but I'm not like Red Revenge. I'm not anybody awesome. But I'm kind of assuming that people know what they're talking about. Sorry if I'm talking over anybody's head. Scapegoats. Yeah, this one is so good. Each town destroys one or essentially this just destroys a ton of things depending on where you are. This one would be S tier. This is one card that can literally, if you are at Terror level 3, you can use this and it pretty much just like board clear. Not really, because some towns will still be alive. Some of everything will still be alive. But you can probably get a whole nother fear card just from that card. Okay. Depart the dangerous land. You get to remove things. Yeah. I don't love it. Again, removing is not great, in my opinion. Tread carefully. Now this one is a card that I would hate on because essentially you just pick lands with or adjacent to Dahan and theoretically they don't ravage. But actually this card is kind of like a get out of jail free card a lot of the time. So I would actually say this one stays in B tier. Normally it would be a card that skipping one ravage often isn't very helpful. But if this is going to be relevant, it's relevant in a place that you really need it. So it's going to matter a lot. Okay. Panic. Okay, so essentially you get to add Blight, I keep calling it Blight. It's Strife to different lands. And then theoretically they have -1 hit point. Yeah, no, this one just goes in B. Some of these other ones that have to do with Strife, they are good because you theoretically do damage with them as well. Like 1 damage per Dahan. They can do damage to other people. Those ones don't do that. Dahan in heartened. Yeah, this one's not amazing, but it is good. Yeah, the bottom level is really good, but the rest of the ones aren't as good. We're still going to go with A because Gathering Dahan is helpful for defending and counterattacking. And also, if you do it in a land they just explored into, you can stop them from doing their whole cycle, which is solid. Trade suffers. Yeah, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I'm going to say this one goes all the way down to F, because invaders do not build in lands with cities. If they're in a land with cities, they essentially would be building a town, probably, anyways. So you're not mitigating that much, and all of these lower ones are just replacing things, or... Yeah, this one's literally replaced a town with an explorer in a coastal land. So horrible. Terror level 2. Civil unrest. Add strife. And then theoretically do damage. Yeah, this one's actually going to fall down to... This one's going to fall down to C tier because you can't do it in lands matching a Ravage card, and often this damage that's done isn't enough to kill the invader, so it makes it really not helpful unless it's teamed up with something else, which reduces their health or whatever. So, unsettled. Yeah, this one is actually going to be all the way up in A. Even at the lowest level, you can downgrade a city or a town. And you certainly have one of those in these lands or whatever. And at the highest level, you get to remove one invader and skip build. So, pretty solid. Explorers are reluctant. Yeah, so essentially this can theoretically skip explorers, or at least... Yeah, no, honestly, even at Terror level 2, this one's pretty good. This one goes to A. Flee from dangerous lands. You get to remove things from different lands. I'm not going to say this one belongs in F, just belongs in C. Does something for you. Overseas trade seem safer. Well, they're not. Essentially, you defend a bunch in the coast, and theoretically other stuff happens in the coast. This one's going to fall to C. They might just not be in the coast this turn, and it literally does nothing for you. And then last, but maybe not least, struggles over farmland. Add strife. Yeah, this one adds strife to different lands, maybe having blight, and then in each land, if you get the highest level, in each land with blight, one invader with strife does damage to other invaders. Man, I'm struggling between S and A. I think we'll leave it at A. So, yep. That's the tier list, everybody. Hope it was helpful and interesting. I don't necessarily do these so that people learn about the game necessarily. It's more just a fun thing to do. Hope you enjoy it.